Hello. Sorry, my voice is getting a little crazy. But we are back nonetheless with Seduce Me. I know, it's been a long time. I'm really sorry. I don't know what's happening. No. We're gonna restart later. Thank you. Okay. So, wow, it's been a long time. I think... Have we met Diana? We've met Diana. She's a bitch. So, let's just get on with this. At once, the boys relaxed and slowly began to return to their spots at the table, each in thought.
She'll be back, but she won't kill us. She needs us alive.
Yeah, definitely Diana. I don't want her to kill y'all. Y'all my baes.
Whatever. We'll just keep saying no. She can't force us to come back.
Oh, Matthew. You're such a cinnamon roll. I love you so much.
She can't do anything but annoy us. Eventually, she'll give up.
That's right.
That's the hope, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Sam walked over to me and placed a hand on my shoulder, looking at me with concern. Hey, babe. How you doing?
If she comes after you, you need to tell us, okay?
Okay. I nodded, knowing that he wanted to protect me. Sam gently took his hand from my shoulder and very gently moved a strand of my hair from my face. However, making me blush and forget what I was thinking about. I love when guys play with my hair. The sound of collective chuckles and playful snickers whispered through the air. I'm so sorry. Making me blush even more. As Sam grunted in reply, the laughter stopped. I looked up to see he was glaring at his brothers, a fist forming in his hand ready to swing at one of them. He and I pulled away from each other just as the sound of Naomi's car appeared. I quickly ate my food, waved to the boys, and left, confident that nothing was going to happen. Never, ever say that nothing will happen before the day is over. I avoided talking about the ride back home yesterday, saying that the ride was a one-time thing. I'll be riding with you guys from now on, to and from school. The girls seemed very happy. We entered the school, quickly gathered our things from our lockers, and headed to class. There were no events to our surprise. History wasn't exactly fun, but our teacher was great. At least he would have been great if he was in class that day. Naomi and Suzu took their seats around me. Suzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by the dean.
Students, you'll be having a substitute for class today. Everyone meet Miss Diana.
Are you freaking kidding me? She's in my school? Bitch, go away! My heart stopped. At the door with the dean was Diana, looking over the students and smirking. Her eyes landed on me. She strutted to the teacher's desk, ignoring or welcoming the whispers from the other students before sitting on the wood and crossing her legs.
Thank you, Dean. You can go now.
With a wave of Diana's hand, the dean left the classroom, closed the door, and left the area. Diana smiled at us, making my stomach turn. What was she going to do?
So, history. History.
Ugh.
Such a silly thing, isn't it? I mean, what do we care about the past? We're in the present.
The rest of the class, including Naomi and Suzu, hesitantly nodded in agreement, unsure about this new teacher, but willing to listen to more of what she had to say.
The present is so full of wonderful things. While the labors of the past are the reason we have many things, it is our chance and privilege to utilize what has been given to us.
Her charm was almost infectious. The class was practically starting to eat out of her hands. I looked around to see classmates grinning and agreeing with Diana. I pressed my lips together and I listened further. I had no choice.
What's even funnier about human beings is that some of the bits of history we hear is either made up or completely biased to one side.
What?
It's like a story you read as a child.
Okay.
You hear of the princess and the prince, and they live happily ever after. But what about the family she left behind? What of her friends?
The students listened and agreed intently to her words. I could tell, however, that these words were all targeted at me.
The original story of the Little Mermaid.
My fave.
A perfect example of biased opinion.
What?
Here we have a girl who thinks she can be with this prince, but this prince has to marry a princess.
Okay, technically she is a princess of the sea.
What would happen if the mermaid had her way? What makes the mermaid so important that the princess has to suffer the consequences?
It doesn't matter what happens to the princess. The rest of the class turned their heads to me. Naomi and Susie looked at me with equally surprised looks. I kept my eyes on Diana. If I was a mermaid, I wasn't going to let the princess take my prince away. Diana stared at me before smiling and turning her body fully to face me.
Oh? And why does it not matter?
The story isn't about the princess. The story is about the mermaid and the prince.
But that is exactly my point. While the story talks about the mermaid and the prince's romance, we don't see the problems of the kingdom the prince rules. While we are all fixated with this love story, we ignore the fact the kingdom would fall apart without the marriage between the prince and princess.
She kept her eyes on me as she spoke. I knew she wanted to make her words stick in my mind, but I didn't listen. It was one thing to be a fictional story. It was another to try to ruin someone's life for selfishness. Diana chuckled and looked back to the class.
Well, luckily in the real story of the Little Mermaid, the mermaid knows that what she was doing was wrong, and she threw herself into the ocean, turning into sea foam.
Some of the students that surrounded me mumbled in surprise, obviously not knowing the real story. However, Diana was wrong once again. That's not true. Once again, the class looked to me. Diana faced me with another smile.
Not true. How so?
The trade-off for becoming human was marrying the prince or turning into sea foam. However, she was also given a choice to kill the prince and turn back into a mermaid. The mermaid didn't because she loved him and sacrificed herself for that love. That is a story worth telling. Not some princess getting her way, but of a tragedy that had befallen on a girl who only wanted love. The class applauded me with Suzu giving me her usual punch to my shoulder and Naomi smiling at my logic. Diana, however, finally grew an almost angered face at me.
Interesting. So what you are saying is that the princess should be given no mind.
The story is not about the princess. The story is about the mermaid, and the mermaid should have gotten her prince.
Even at the risk of a kingdom falling apart?
Even if the entire world fell apart around them, duty does not overrule love, and the princess needs to realize this. The applause that followed, that intensified with whoops and hollers, I felt a wave of confidence roll through my body. Diana wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to let her. Diana didn't stop talking and looked at the clock on the wall, reading it quickly. This class had barely begun. Why was she looking at the time? Diana then leaned against the blackboard and smiled to us. I became worried.
You know what? School isn't important. Everyone, go ahead and head home. Take the week off.
What? The students suddenly began to chat happily or in confusion of the situation. Many thought it was a dream come true. Others knew better. Before anyone could protest, however, Diana pressed a finger to her lips and counted down with her fingers in the air. 3, 2, 1. The speakers of the classroom gently awoke, giving us an announcement we would never believe.
Attention students. Due to an emergency faculty meeting, we will be closing school for the remainder of the day and this entire week.
What?
Please leave the school quickly and quietly and have a good rest of the week.
Are you serious? She used her powers on them. Damn it. I felt the need to stop her, but how can I stop a demon in the middle of a public area? Diana smiled before gesturing to the door.
Have a nice week off. School will resume next week.
Many of the students filed out, chatting to each other about new impromptu plans. Susan was beyond happy, and Naomi was hesitant. Before we could pack up and leave, however, Diana stepped to us.
Excuse me, little miss. I'd like you to stay a little while. There's something we need to discuss.
Grr. As Diana looked to Suzu and Naomi, she snapped her fingers, making my friends tense up.
You two can head home. Don't worry about your friend until next week, okay? If you contact her, she won't reply, so don't bother. If she contacts you, ignore her. because she's just fine.
Ugh. As if on command, Susan and Naomi left the room. I tried to march after them, but Diana stepped in my path. Dang. Sorry, reading. Warning me with her eyes that if I followed, there would be hell to pay. I had lost my 2 friends, at least for the week. Diana and I were alone, just like she wanted. I slammed my hands on the desk in front of me and glared at her. What are you doing, and what are you thinking?
What? Do I not make a good teacher? I figured you should have a little lesson, so I took matters into my own hands.
Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
You really think so, dear? And what makes you so sure about that?
What was making me so sure? Why was I confident? Were the boys worth this? My thoughts began to fill with doubt. All the uncertainties about this whole ideal began to cloud my mind. If the boys were ever found out, there'd be hell to pay. Was it worth it? What about Diana? What would she do to me? Would she make my parents forget about me completely? Would she ruin my friends' lives out of spite? In my gut, I felt a stone of confidence try to fight back, but the heaviness of my thoughts began to dissolve that stone little by little. What was going on with me? I looked up to Diana once again to see her gaze boring into mine. She was using her powers on me. This time I was away from home, so I couldn't escape. Or could I? Did I want to? The way she stared at me made me feel warm and fuzzy inside my chest. I felt like melting. Diana lifted a hand under my chin and ran her thumb over my lips. Okay. Licking her own. This is a little awkward. I could feel little shots of energy zipping under my skin into my chin where she held me. She's taking my damn energy!
Let's have a little taste of that sweet, virginal sexual energy.
Hey. I watched as she leaned in, ready to kiss me and take my energy. No! Half of my body felt elation at the idea. The other half completely rejected it and didn't want her to even touch me. Sam. Suddenly, Diana stopped in her tracks.
Sam, who is...
Then it dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is Sam?
I felt myself nod in compliance. The third. Diana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The brute? With you?
Yes, with me. I nodded once again. At this time, it was partly my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked a cat's purr before stepping away from me.
All right, then. Well, if it's the brute you're infatuated with, you should really rethink your romantic options.
Hey, he's sweet sometimes. Diana chuckled before kissing my nose where I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy and recoil. Diana then turned to the desk and sat on the one crossing her legs.
You can go now. Remember, no class for the rest of the week.
How am I supposed to get home? My 2 friends left me here thanks to you.
Oh, were they your ride? My apologies. Let me help then.
Diana lifted her hand and snapped her fingers. I suddenly felt the floor sink underneath me, forcing me to look down. A purple pentagram surrounded my feet, pulling me into the ground. Whoa! Before I could fight, however, I sank fully into the floor, fading into darkness and shutting my eyes. As I opened them, I felt my silk sheets around me, soothing my anxiety from the darkness that had previously surrounded me. What the? Why did Diana bring me home? I kind of want to be there, sorry. Was this an illusion? Was I being tricked? Something was going on. I sat up in bed looking around me. I was indeed in my room. There was no mistake about that. Why? Diana is too strange. Was this a game? Was this part of her plan to get the boys back? I was lost and confused more than ever, despite my logical thought trying to piece the puzzle that is Diana together. The more I tried to solve her, the less I understood about the situation I was in. I was interrupted, however, by my door suddenly opening, revealing the boys with Damien's hand on the doorknob.
Miss, what are you doing here?
God, James, nice to see you too.
Aren't you supposed to be in school?
Yes, Eric, I am. I furrowed my eyebrows and stared at Damien, asking him to answer their questions with my thoughts.
Diana sent her back here. She invaded her school and
and sent all the students back home.
What is that bitch up to? Seriously, Diana's playing around for no reason.
I know, babe. I'm mad too.
Maybe it's part of her plan.
Oh, Matthew. The boys continue to argue back and forth about Diana, fueling an almost jealous curiosity in me. Damien seemed to be too deep within talking to notice my thoughts, for he didn't even stop talking alongside his brothers. Why was Diana after them? Why did she want to bring them back? What was so important about the boys that she would travel to the human world to get them? What was going on? Alright, so we're gonna stop it here, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I make new videos every week. That's loud nuts, but I try my best. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.